How's it, everybody? And a warm welcome to the Web3 show. I'm your host, Philip Kalinko, joined by my friend Kate Bergman, and together we bring you all the weekly NFT and Web3 news. Going to give you a latest crypto update. We've had a bit of a pump in the last 24 hours. Why? Do we think it's going to continue? We're going to be talking about some established projects that are going onto Bitcoin. We're going to be chatting about the Goose that sold for $5.6 million. We're going to be talking about Fewocious and Adidas, Apecoin DAO, Goblintown on Twitch, Art Basel, Machi Big Brother and ZachXBT, the Rocky Horror Picture Show, and much, much more. So thank you for joining us on this amazing Saturday evening. A lot of interesting stuff to chat about. Look, always nice to see my friend Kate. Mr. Bergman, how are you?
Chilling, bro. I'm fucking ready. Guys, y'all don't know this, but listen, bro. Your boy actually set this show up for today. We're going to try some experimental stuff on this show. That's what we do in the Web3 show.
Yeah, so Kate this week has prepared the topics. And yeah, man, let's see how it goes. If it goes good, then we'll alternate every week. I'm sure it's going to go great, and I'm looking forward to it. But we're going to follow our usual format. Good to have you all. I see we got Crypto Dream, we got Luke, we got Artist SH. I'm sure we'll have a lot more coming in and out. So, guys, thanks for joining us. Let's not keep you waiting. Let's get straight into it. All right, so a market update. If we have a look over here, on the Nasdaq S&P 500, they closed down for the day on Friday, but overall another great week. We had a pause on the interest rate hikes. However, we had Jerome Powell coming out being very, very hawkish and sort of saying it's a temporary pause. Everyone was pricing in sort of a pause and no more rises for the year, but he made it quite clear that there will be some more. He thinks there will be some more. Who knows? Listen, it's one of those things. I think it's a win. We're definitely nearing the end of the hiking cycle, whether it's this time or next time or the time after, we're getting there. But overall, the Nasdaq and S&P 500 has been doing so incredibly well. It really has. It's outperformed almost everything, including most crypto, including most NFTs. So yeah, guys, really interesting to see. If we then have a look here at crypto, we've had a really bullish last 24 hours. We've got Bitcoin sitting at 26,500, Ethereum sitting at 1,700, Solana 1571. People do say any pump on the weekend should be ignored. Don't get excited about weekend pumps. But you have a look here, it has pulled back a bit, but we went all the way from a low of 1,630 to a high of 1,760 on Ethereum. So that's quite a substantial jump in the last 24 hours. We've pulled back a bit now. We're sitting at 1,728. We got Solana up on the day 3.2%. We've got Apecoin up 1.4%. So there's definitely some increases happening. If we look at the last week since we last did the show, so that's looking at the bubbles here. Green means that there's been an increase. The bigger the green bubble, the bigger the increase. Red means there's been a decrease. You can see that it's been quite a bullish week on crypto in general. A lot more green than red. We've got Hex, the big winner on the week. They've been slowly bleeding for the last month. I'd be interested to see Hex on the month. Well, look, on the month, everything is down. Absolutely everything, including Hex. All right. So going back to the week over here, we can see Injective Protocol up 14%, Atom up 11. What else we got? Aptos up 18, Gala up 13, Sand up 3% on the week, Pepe up 10%, BNB up 3%. But they are coming from quite big lows. Bitcoin up 4% over there. If we look just today, you can see it's been quite a bullish day. Render up 11%, Aptos 11% on the day. Hex 13%, Sand 2.37%, Gala almost 10%, IMX 2%. So definitely stuff going on here in the market, which is good to see. Is this the beginning of a bull market? What do we think? Well, I think it's important to look at the general trending. And we can see that even though there's bullish sentiment in the market, been a 4% gain, there's still the Bitcoin volatility levels on the verge of a decrease. So the Bollinger Bands are now slightly converging towards closing onto each other. So that's relative strength, but it's definitely not showing us that we passed where we need to be. We haven't broken any key indicators, except we have broken the 14-week, which is a bit bullish. But I wouldn't get too excited as we stand over here yet. And that covers it. That covers your market update for the week.
Oh yeah, baby. Yeah, dude, this was actually kind of a struggle to find the topics. There was pretty much nothing happening. There's still, when I look at the topics, there's not a whole lot happening. However, we can't be leaving you hanging. Even if there's nothing to talk about, we find out a way to make it something to talk about. So I did. I went there. I did the extra research. I found an extra story that I thought was very interesting. It's very relevant right now. And I'm kind of down to start there if you want to do that, Philip.
Yeah, sure. I mean, we can start there and then we'll go back to what's trending and then get into more news. So let's start right there. All right, cool. So let's talk about it. Let's talk about the story.
Before we jump in, guys, if you haven't already, follow myself, follow Philip on Twitter, follow the YouTube channels. We are crushing it. We're going hella consistent. We can't be stopped, to be honest. There's no stopping here. Philip is probably the most consistent person if you guys are trying to keep up with like NFT content. You guys already know you're on his channel. But if you're on my channel, if you haven't found him yet, his YouTube channel, if you guys are into NFTs, all NFTs. And then every week, of course, the Web3 show, now on Saturdays at 12:30 p.m. PST. But here's the news. And Philip, you've probably heard about this already. Have you heard about this, ZachXBT?
Yeah, so I've got this story as well.
Nice.
Let's just give it a second over here. Hold on one second. All right, well, you carry on. You carry on with it. Let's talk about it from your PC. It's fine.
Hey guys, so ZachXBT is one of those investigator detective people in Web3. He's got a huge following. People love this guy because he doesn't give a fuck. He will roast anyone. He will research anybody. He'll find out, get to the bottom of what's actually happening. And what happened was he got sued by Machi Big Brother. And here's the original tweet that ZachXBT said. He says, unfortunately, I'm being sued by Machi Big Brother. If you guys know Machi, he's that big Bored Ape Yacht Club with those sunglasses. He's famous for being rich and stuff and being a degenerate on Twitter. And people don't know really like what's really good with this guy. All we know is this guy filed a defamation lawsuit, which is going to be pretty fucking expensive. And it's going to be chaotic because the whole lawsuit is like in a gray area. So it's just going to be a long, tumultuous process. And so he's essentially saying, listen, I've got some money, but like this is going to be a bitch to get through for the next year or so. So, you guys have all been donating thousands, millions of dollars actually to random shit coins and stupid influencers who don't deserve it. I would love if you guys, could donate some money. And man, the response was actually ridiculous. First off, just notice these numbers, 700,000 on the one where he actually put the donation wallet address. So this is lit because when I saw that, I was like, oh, wow, I wonder if they've actually sent money. Dude, they've raised almost $1 million already. It's insane. So I'm very, this gives me a lot of hope again in crypto Twitter. Just a little bit of hope.
Yeah. So, I mean, 100% very big article, very, very interesting. We've got ZachXBT, who's got over 400,000 followers on Twitter. And he's known for his investigative journalism and being very, very thorough in that. And then what happened was exactly a year ago to the day, he did an article about Machi, and he had good proof. He really did. He had solid proof in it. He published all the blockchain data. He alleged that there was over 37 million that was embezzled by Machi from the treasury. It was what he said, what ZachXBT said in this article. He came out now a year later, and he's come out and he's saying Machi's coming out and saying a year ago, ZachXBT published, I just wanted to highlight it for you, but it ended up going there.
I'm just going to pull up
a year ago, ZachXBT published a Medium article about me that damaged my reputation. Today, I filed a defamation lawsuit against him in the United States District Court of Texas. And then, as Kate was saying, we saw ZachXBT come out with a whole thread saying this is really a David and Goliath situation here. It's unfortunate that I have to make this thread, but I'm being sued by Machi Big Brother. This is classic David Goliath story. My understanding is that Machi is very wealthy. I am not. He's using money to try and silence me. And so, like Kate said, he published his wallet. And I agree with you, Kate. I think it's really bullish to see that the crypto community has rallied around ZachXBT. They've also saw Memeland even donated a couple of ETH to him. A lot of big players out there. Obviously, legal fees are very expensive, and going to be interesting to see what happens. But yeah, definitely a big story in the space, and I'm happy you brought it to our attention, Kate. Thanks, my brother.
If you
So,
pull it back to my screen super quick, Philip, if you don't mind.
yeah, I'm there.
So,
You there?
guys, for people who don't know, this is one of the AI tools that I use pretty much every day. It's called WordTune. Highly recommend if you do any level of research. Yeah, it's very easy. You just copy and paste the link, and it spits you out this, and then you can use ChatGPT and get it down from there and actually have really good breakdowns. It's what I use for a lot of my work. But just for a quick, I just want to quickly go over this. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on it because we already know it's basically just pumping up influencer scammer type stuff, and he's just been doing it over and over. And if you guys remember this, actually, if you scroll down a little bit,
Allegedly.
look at this. Yeah, these are all allegedly, but like Typhoon, you guys, oh wait, no, is this not the same? I thought it said Tornado oh, this is Tornado Cash. Do you guys remember the Tornado Cash fucking conundrum? You remember that, Philip?
Yeah, I do.
Dude, that shit was crazy. So yeah, he's been involved in a lot, allegedly, all these things, right? And is it alleged though? If like the blockchain's right there though, is it alleged?
It is alleged. It's innocent until proven guilty. He has to have a right to answer. And also, I don't feel like in a year's time getting a letter saying I'm being sued. I don't have 400,000 Twitter followers. So if I ask for some assistance, I don't think I'm going to get anywhere close to $800,000. So it's important that we say allegedly.
Right.
But look, ZachXBT is known for his journalism. He does dig deep. He does typically cross his T's and dot his I's before he publishes anything. So, but again, we don't know the facts, but all we know is that there's definitely been a lawsuit filed, a defamation one, and that $800,000 so far has been raised in order to help ZachXBT to be able to defend himself against these claims.
Right. Yeah, man. It's some crazy shit, guys. So that's what you can do when you got unlimited money, pretty much. So that's the story there. If you guys are following it, it's been all over Twitter. I don't know if it'd be trending, but it's been definitely one of the talks of the town. There's a couple talks of the town. That was definitely one of them, and I wanted to bring that up because I forgot to tell Phil about that before the show. But I'm ready to move on to the next story, bro.
I'm going to give you a break because I want to go into what's trending, and then we're going to move on to the next one. Yeah. So what's trending over here? If we have a look, last 24 hours, we've got Blur 21 million. Something interesting that I saw on Blur, which is very interesting, in the last 24 hours, 97% of the sales on Blur have been WETH bids accepted. So not actual ETH things. That is a huge amount. That means that almost every single NFT that's been sold has been sold to people who have accepted bids, which is typically a very bearish signal for NFTs. It means that people are not buying at the asking price. So guys are just trying to get rid of NFTs and accepting the highest bid. We've got OpenSea at 4.6 million in the last 24 hours, X2Y2 at 829,000, Immutable X at 600,000, Super Rare at 500,000, CryptoPunks alone at 500,000, and then one we haven't seen for a while, NBA Top Shot at 100,000. I always adjust Blur down because there's definitely about 30% of it is probably real trading. The rest is just to get points. So if we say that, we say it's about 7 million on Blur, 4.5 million on OpenSea, gets us to about 13 million if we include the top 7. And that's the last 24 hours. If we look in the last 7 days, the biggest sales that we've got over here, we've got the Fidenza at number 3. We're going to talk about that, 212 ETH. We've got a Spuritazuki that hasn't actually been selling so many of them. We've got one at 189, just under 190 ETH, so $315,000. Autoglyphs, another art blocks project at 291 ETH. And all of this is related to the Goose story that Kate's going to tell us about. Number 7, 8, and 9 are all CryptoPunks at 135 ETH, 95 ETH, and 83 ETH, respectively. If we just have a look at the NFT floor prices, this is also the last 7 days. We're a weekly show, so we like to look at it on a 7-day horizon. It also helps get the rubbish out there, because something that's trending for 24 hours, if it's not trending a week later, then it's not worth talking about. Number one, we've got Bored Ape Yacht Club sitting low at 43.5 ETH. We've got Mutants at 8.3 ETH. Wrapped CryptoPunks just under 50 ETH. Azuki at 16.5. D-Gods holding really strong at 9.6. Boring Punks, which went all the way up to 0.4, sitting at 0.04. We got Pudgy Penguin sitting at 4 Ethereum. The Captains, which are also doing incredibly well, sitting at 8.6 ETH. CryptoPunks just over 50, and Milady at 3 Ethereum. If we have a look at Bitcoin Ordinals, which we said we were going to start looking at the trending, we got number one spot as far as volume in the last 7 days as Bitcoin Frogs, which Kate and I spoke about 2 weeks ago to the day. Then we've got number two, Recursive Punks, a derivative of CryptoPunks. Number three is an interesting one. We've got Ordinal Maxi Biz. These guys are sitting at over 3 Bitcoin as a floor price. And this is the project where they've said that if you burn your punk, you'll get whitelist. So they currently have 300 as their supply, but they're going to be launching another 2,000. And if you want whitelist, you must burn your punk. I do not own any punks. If I did own a punk, I would not be burning it for whitelist for Ordinal Maxi Biz. However, very interesting to see a project holding a 3.3 Bitcoin floor, which is huge.
They want you to burn your actual CryptoPunk to get whitelist for this one? People are doing this? But people are burning their CryptoPunk.
It's actually, like, if you look at it on face value, 3.3 Bitcoin is $70,000. And a CryptoPunk is $50,000. Wow. So from that perspective, you can maybe argue it's worth doing. However, the supply currently on Ordinal Maxi Biz is only 300, and there's going to be another 2,000 launched. So once it launches, what is that floor price going to do? And will you be able to sell quick enough? So it's not something I would do at all. But value-wise, it's actually, sort of makes sense, but it doesn't really, because when you add 2,000 to the supply, it's a very different ball game than when there's only 300 of them, right?
Yeah. Wow.
Then we got Bitcoin D-God sitting at 1.7 Bitcoin, doing incredibly well. And then Bitcoin Flowers sitting quite low, 0.000185. However, they've had 7 Bitcoin in volume.
Bro, you know what that reminds me of? Bitcoin Flowers. Do you remember this, guys? If you remember this, I absolutely need you to comment wherever you're watching, because I see this. There's a few of you guys in Twitter video stream too. If you guys remember a project from, this is OG as fuck, by the way. I found out about it in 2021, but it came in 2017, I think. One of the first projects ever. Oh no, did I really just forget on the spot? No, hold on. Give me 2 seconds. Ether Tulips, I think it was called, bro. You remember that shit, bro? Alex Nectar was 100% sure this was the project. And bro, the amount of hours I spent trying to figure out the ecosystem. I tried to bridge generation 1 to generation 0. It was the most degenerate CryptoKitty like stuff ever. It's called Ether Tulips, I think. And they're sitting at like a 0.00001 ETH, I think now. But there was a time where I really thought I had maybe found some truly historic NFTs, and I was wrong. I was wrong. But
I hadn't heard of it. But yeah, I mean, even Bitcoin Bees, I know there was an Ethereum Bees project. That's why I think there's definitely opportunities on Ordinals here, because it's almost Ethereum NFTs playing out again, but just on Bitcoin. And something interesting that we are seeing is we're seeing that notable projects, established projects, are now debuting their Bitcoin equivalent. So I don't know if you remember this one, but we've got one of them is Crypto Skulls, which is actually allegedly older than CryptoPunks as far as the blockchain goes. Like most people believe that it is older. There was 1 or 2 people that said even though it was minted earlier, it wasn't published. I don't know. There was a little bit about it, but most people agree that Crypto Skulls came out before CryptoPunks. They're going to be launching on Ordinals. And here you can see some of those Ordinals. there's been a lot of stuff happening with On-Chain Monkey, and they're going to be doing an ordinal drop of 10,000 Bitcoin NFTs as well. We've got DeGods, like they were already on Bitcoin, and we've covered on the show that Yuga Labs did 12-fold, another Bitcoin ordinals, but we've also got the Solana project, OK Bears. They're coming out and they're saying that they're going to be moving to ordinals. I think it was yesterday or today that they're going to be doing that. Only One Force, they're going to be coming and launching an ordinal connection. So we've definitely got a lot of these OG Ethereum projects where they're not seeing such volume. I mean, only One Force has had quite a lot of volume recently, but a lot of these projects are seeing this as an opportunity to take the Bitcoin ordinal train, and ordinals are definitely pumping at the moment. Will they continue to do so is the question. But yeah, a lot of OG projects are now going onto ordinals.
Wow, that's actually pretty interesting. I do like that, actually. I'm not sure. I don't know what I think about that, because I'm like, do we need it? Like, I don't know. Like, I guess I'm not sure. Like, I guess for the people who are doing it, I just need to know why. I mean, unless they're only doing it just to fit the trend, I'm like, I guess it doesn't really help anyone if that's the only reason people are doing it. I don't know.
Look, everyone's different. Everyone's different. So, like, OKBase is literally moving their collection from Solana onto Bitcoin, similar to what DeGods and Utes did, moving to Polygon and Ethereum. So that's different. They're like moving their collection onto Bitcoin, which I think is quite cool and has got some definitely some benefits. I mean, it's pumping at the moment where Solana volume continues to drop. Other ones are just launching like a limited edition, like we saw with DeGods, of a couple of hundred of theirs on ordinals. So yeah, I mean, look, did we need a picture of a monkey to begin with? I don't know if need really falls into it, but there's definitely a trend happening on Bitcoin ordinals. And, if you're in existing projects and you're looking for volume or attention, it does make sense. It does make sense at this point.
Yeah, 100%.
So, Kate, I'm going to move over to you, my friend. We're now moving on to the news. I'm going to take you onto Kate's screen. You ready there, Kate, to switch over?
I am ready. I was also going to I found the ether tulips real quick before we jump into it.
Okay, let's do it. Hold on.
All right, guys, these are the ether tulips. These are the ones I grabbed. I don't even know how much. I don't know what I pay for these things. But dude, there was a time where like I was so confused because I was like, is it this one that I bridge over? And like there was all this lore. Clearly, these have crashed tremendously.
I've never seen those in my life.
Bro, these were supposed to take me to Valhalla, bro. These were too. Bro, these I remember because we bought these in Discord. And we were like, bro, this is it. We got to sell this for the Halloween. This is like during Halloween time in 2021. We were like so pumped about this, and we fucking missed the top just slightly, and it crashed instantly. We couldn't even sell them. But anyways, that's enough for the OG nostalgic days of losing all my money, guys. If you're enjoying the show so far, if you're excited against the news, smash that like button. If you're on YouTube, hit the subscribe. If you're in Twitter Spaces, bottom right icon, hit that message button. There's a 2 next to it. If you hit the retweet, comments, tag friends. I appreciate y'all. If you guys want to join the video stream, hit that pinned tweet at the top of the stream. It'll take you to Philip's stream, or the one next to it will take you to Philip's video Twitter stream if you want to stay on Twitter. So we appreciate y'all. All right, first story. Let's do this shit, guys. If you are not aware, Apecoin DAO. This is clearly what the Apecoin Bored Ape Yacht Club ecosystem is using to do their governance, do their voting and stuff like that. They have some spots open essentially, right, on the council. And we're having our boy threadguy has announced it is time for him to run. It is time for him because he thinks he can do something. And the entirety of crypto Twitter has gotten behind our boy because honestly, I think he just gets it, bro. Like he's I don't know about this tweet specifically calling the crypto Twitter social bottom. I think he actually could be close to right on that. But as far as threadguy as a person, he's a Twitter Spaces host. He does all these shows. He's one of the most talented, high energy show hosts I've ever seen. So I actually think it'd be great to have someone on the council who is like him. I don't think he's particularly qualified in almost any regard to be on the council because he's 20 or 21 maybe. He's really young, but he's exceptional at content. And I think there's a huge pull to have someone like that on the council because he's got his feet on the ground. He's actually in the dirty work, right? He's actually on Spaces every day. He's actually talking to the people who are at the heart of these controversies every single day. I think it'd be a really, really big move because Bored Ape Yacht Club, I feel like every single decision they make spreads out their brand more and more, which is good. But you need to have something that ties everyone together. And the Mutants have honestly just carried the Bored Ape Yacht Club for the past 6 months. I mean, I think without them, their announcements just don't hit like that, bro. When you just have heavy hitters like threadguy, for example, I think it's important. So anyways, yeah, he's running. He's first place right now by like kind of a landslide. And I wasn't really surprised. I don't even know who the fuck the other people running were. But if you guys want to know more, I mean, that's pretty much all there is on that story. Phil, do you have anything on that? Do you have any opinions on threadguy running, a 21-year-old who's just a savage content
creator? The age to me doesn't matter. He's got a massive following. He's well respected in the space, and I think that's cool. I think it's important to understand that the reason that this has come to the fore is that there's been a lot of backlash in the last week over the salaries that these guys who are running the Apecoin DAO are getting paid. So the DAO's been paying salaries and fees of up to $75,000 per month to its leadership board. Now, that came out with a lot of people being shocked, but the truth is that every single decision that's been taken by the Apecoin DAO has been published and voted on by Apecoin holders, and you can go back and you can see where they voted on the different salaries. And if you actually look at the market cap of Apecoin, and you say to yourself, okay, look, the market cap of Apecoin, I think it's 2 billion or 20 billion, but let's just say it's 2 billion as a limited case. If you're running a $2 billion industry, to pay in total per annum $1.5 million in salary is not that crazy. And let's be quite honest. I mean, there's a lot of people running much smaller organizations that have a bigger salary bill. So from that perspective, you know, I think this has been blown out of proportion because, again, every single vote was voted on and has been published at the time. And so for them, people to be shocked is quite weird. And again, in the tech space, people do earn, you know, a good $20,000, $30,000 salary per month if you're a big tech guy. And all of this was there, and they're running a lot of money. But that is why they've come under fire lately, and I think why the story that you brought to us has come out as well.
Wait, will you keep it on that slide for a sec? On yours?
Sure.
So the only reason I have a problem with it, because I have a little bit of a problem with 75K, only because
that's for the whole leadership.
Oh, okay, not per
month. No, the whole leadership. So that's why I'm saying about 1 million, 1.5 million per year in total salaries, right? So their salaries are about 75,000 to 120,000 a month, is what I heard. So yeah, that's not one person. That's what I'm saying. The top guys, the top guy's getting 20 grand. The guy under him's getting 10 grand. The guy under him's getting 5. You know, here it is over here. The special counsel, the 5 of them on special counsel are getting $20,000 per month. Over there, the secretary gets 7,000 a month. The facilitators get 8,000 a month. The stewards get 9,000 a month. And the administrator, web slinger, he's compliance, finance, legal. Yeah, he does get 75 grand a month. So if you add that all together, you get to about $1.5 million per annum as far as salary goes.
I think the only reason this strikes people the wrong way is because of what Elon did when he just effectively shed everyone on the company and realized, oh, we didn't actually need anyone here, pretty much. And I think that's probably what people are thinking. They're like, yo, really? Like, we just saw all these crypto tech companies shit the bed, all these banks shit the bed because y'all are paying too much for no reason, really? Is this really the smartest move of money kind of thing? And I think there's an argument for that. To be honest, though, like the main core special counsel, I think you've got to pay them that much money because you gotta entice them to leave their fucking billion-dollar company to like fucking take charge of these monkey pictures. Like, you need a reason. But anyways, that's not as big of a deal as I thought, though. I mean, that is expensive, but like this is Web3, so I'm not surprised. You know, like people charge more in general. Like when people heard what I charge for like consulting for an hour, it's way more than like pretty much any other industry. Like I remember my friend was he's in the day trading world. He's like, yeah, man, I was gonna have this guy, like I was gonna meet with him 4 times a month, you know, once a week for an hour for like $100 a month. And I was like, what? He was like, yeah. I was like, $100 an hour? He was like, no. I was like, oh wow, okay, damn, bro. Like I got spoiled in Web3. Like, is that normal? Like I don't even know. But anyways, on this slide. So guys, I threw together a quick video. I'm not gonna make you guys watch it. It is only a minute long. but just out of potential copyright issues, even though I don't think it would happen. It's a Game of Thrones, so it's muted right now. It's a Game of Thrones scene. It's the official, you know, Robb Stark being inducted to King of the North, and everyone's like, you know what? Fuck it. We want this guy to win. So everyone just gets hyped up, and like he's like, yo, like you have my sword, and then basically the entirety of everyone rose up. And anyways, it was supposed to be a fun
So, Cade, my sons, I was first of all, poor Jake, my one son broke his arm yesterday night, and yeah, so he's in a cast and all of that. But this morning we only took him to the X-ray department, and Danny and Raph were left while Bianca took Jake to the X-rays. And they were watching me. I was retweeting your tweets about the spaces and whatever, and they saw some of your Twitter stuff, my two boys, and they love it. They loved it. They absolutely loved it. They loved the one they saw. There was a picture where you changed the picture of their faces.
Yeah.
There was one of those, and they wanted to see more, and I kept scrolling down, and they really enjoyed your Twitter.
That's awesome.
So yeah, you got two little fans over there.
Thank you, bro. Well, tell them thank you. I hope his arm gets better. Holy crap. I've gotten a little bit more creative because I was looking at my videos and I was like, you know what, bro? I almost made a tweet out about this, and it's in my drafts. I haven't put it out because I'm not sure how I want to like say it, but I was kind of like I'll just kind of read. I won't read the actual tweet, but I'll kind of say like the point here. I was kind of like, one of the things I wrote was like, sometimes it's kind of sad how underrated my content is, because I know it's good, because I wouldn't have gotten the opportunities I would get. I wouldn't be full time if it wasn't. So I know objectively, it's like there's like a line of like good enough kind of thing, but it's never taken. It's never been like supported by Twitter, kind of like Tally or threadguy, where everyone kind of bands behind this content creator. And I was like, it's interesting that that's not like that. And I was like, wonder why. Like maybe it's the style of content I have that just isn't conducive to wanting to be reshared in the same way that a Tally or a threadguy is, which is fine. Like my style is just different. But I've always gone right when everyone's gone left. Like when I see something working, you know, it's kind of like the classic influencer thing. If you see it already working, you probably missed the boat, or you're probably just gonna have to fill in someone else's shoes that aren't really yours because you're trying to chase what reward they have right now. And for me, like it was always the social proof that came at the end. Like the social proof will come way after I was hoping it would. Like I got my podcast sponsor 2 years after I started it. And I was like, most people, if they were like, yo, you got to film 140 podcasts before you'll have a single cent made from it, they'd be like, yo, eat a dick. I'm not doing that. But I didn't even know if it would get sponsored at 140. I just kept going with it, and eventually it worked. And kind of my idea with that was like, okay, like maybe it's been 2 years of like trial and error, doing stuff, having some success, having some failures. Maybe I should switch things up. And so I got a comment, and it was a hater. Not a hater, actually. It was a comment saying like, how the fuck could you possibly be full-time with only 11,000 subscribers? And I was like, oh, like I have a way I usually answer these that I think is like tons of value. There's like all this alpha about like how to structure your content, how to target your audience. And I was like, man, I've done that video like 50 times. They never get more than 400 views. I've never had a single one of those videos get more than 400 views. So I got to switch it up. So I did like a little back and forth dialogue with myself, one with glasses.
They saw it. They found it hilarious. They said, bro, they found it hilarious. That was one of them that they watched. We watched the whole thing. And then like you were, at the end, you sort of agreed with yourself at the end. Yeah, they loved it, bro. They absolutely, I enjoyed it as well. I think it's cool. Do you want me to share your...
Yeah, hold on. There was 2 videos. Like actually I made 2 of them that were similar in quick succession. One of them is when someone asked about like moving on to the next big thing, and they were like, why'd you stop making NFT content? Like that was a video I really thought was pretty funny. And then there was one where it was like, oh, there's this Ask the Social Media Gods. This is one where I had like a green screen of me floating around the canvas. And I just think like different styles of content, I need to start trying them, because
you need to see what happens and see how many views it gets. And then if it does well, do it. I mean,
here, let me know if you can hear. You probably can't hear this unless I move to Chrome.
No, we can't hear it. But my children watched it and they loved it. So guys, if you want to go and you should go onto Cade's Twitter and definitely give it a watch, because the whole funny thing is what he's saying to himself. But it was hilarious. It was absolutely hilarious, Cade. I love that. I really enjoyed that, and the boys did too. They were enjoying it. So as I said, you got 2 little fans. 2 new fans, and one day when they get cell phones, I'm sure they will subscribe.
Oh yeah, bro.
All right, Kate, are you ready for your next story? You the man
I'm
today.
ready, bro. I'm ready. Let's
Pull up your thumbnails so it's ready.
Right. Let's do.
Then,
You know what? Let's go this way. Hold
all
on.
right, I'm putting you on.
I'm ready.
Are you ready?
Ready.
All righty, let's do it.
All right, guys. So
Boom.
NFT just sold for $6 million. I think $6.2 million at Sothebys auction, and it was by this artist. Which here's the interesting part, right? And let me show you this before we get into the story. This dude only has 15K on Instagram, 500 likes, 300 likes. This is not extraordinary, right? Like it's just right. You know, I clicked on this last photo a week ago, but I think this is before the artwork sold. There's only 500 people even noticed it, and he just like, yo, this is on display in New York before it finds a new home. Bro, like it's not even getting media attention. How did this fucking NFT thing sell for $6.2 million? I mean, this is crazy. Do you know who these people are, by the way?
Yeah, I mean, it's Dmitri Cherniak. So he's quite a famous generative artist. You know, under Art Block's Ringers, which is one of it. Like, there's Fidenzas, there's Ringers. There's a couple of really big names under Art Blocks. Ringers is one of them. This had previously sold for 1,800 Ethereum, which is about half of this, about $3 million. And is now sold for 3,200 Ethereum, which is 5.6 million. But then they had to pay the Sothebys fees, which took it to 6.2 million. So it's quite a famous art piece in that it's got big sales before it. It's by a very famous digital artist, but very. Yeah, I mean, people were expecting it to get at least 3 million. Sotheby's is always very conservative. So when they come out and say that they're expecting 3 million, usually you get more than that. I mean, it's very seldom that they don't. So they were saying that it was going to go for 3 million. So because that was what the last sale was for, right? And so I don't think it was a huge surprise. I mean, it was actually more of a surprise where we had a Fidenza sell for $1 million 2 years ago when nothing had sold for that before. That was really more of a surprise. But the nice thing about this is that it really actually, for the first time in almost a year, it made news outside of Web3. So I saw a New York Times article on it. You know, it's very interesting. Definitely. I mean, and $6 million is a huge amount of money. And it's an NFT in the end of the day. I mean, it's very much an NFT. And since then, we've seen a very big art blocks run. So we saw that other ringers sell, which I showed you in the top 10 of the week, but we've seen about 4 or 5 art block projects really do incredibly well as a direct result of this sale.
Yeah, look at this Beeple show. Look at this Beeple photo he posted. Dude, I love Beeple just because, like, I mean, I don't really know him. The only metric I have on Beeple is the output content that he puts out. Like, I don't really watch him or anything like that. But he's just good at capitalizing, bro. Like, imagine you're an artist and you just figure out the way to go viral. You're like, bro, you find the viral story and you throw together your own art piece about it and stick it up. Like, this guy's like the Frank of art content, I feel like, on Twitter. It's actually pretty cool. Like, what do you think about this, bro?
Yeah, I like it. I mean, the people made so much money, hundreds of millions of dollars. He was just in the right place at the right time. He really brought the bull market. I mean, NFTs to the, you know, everyone saw that one NFT that he sold with all those 100 pictures together. That's the first time many people heard about NFTs. And if you can believe it, the $6.2 million isn't the biggest sale, hey? There was one bigger than that happened at Sotheby's. But yeah, in total, they raised $11 million from all of the sales that came up. This was the highest selling one of the day. There was also an autoglyph, which sold for 330,000. There was a Fidenza, which sold for 622,000. A Chromie Squiggle was sold for 630,000. And all of these projects this last week have pumped as a result of it. Remember, these are the grails that were part of the liquidation process for 3 Arrows Capital. So it's really good that they were able to raise $11 million because that money is going to go straight back to paying the creditors that are owed money from the collapse of 3 Arrows Capital. So yeah, I mean, overall, very, very good to see the amount of money that was raised, and it's going to a good cause. It's going to pay people who lost money as a result of the fall of 3 Arrows Capital.
Damn, very, very cool. Yeah, I was gonna bring that up. I was gonna say they were I saw in the article they were a leading, figure to be reckoned with back in the bull run, and they kind of disappeared in the bear market. And also, guys, these two, we're about to have another story that's sort of also in the art world, and we're gonna wrap it in a like. There's a reason we're bringing up two of those stories in a row. We had Art Basel that's right now. I'm supposed to be there in Florida. We just couldn't get the vlog out in time for VCon to pitch it to any spots, which is actually fine because I didn't see as many people at Art Basel. So we'll kind of talk about why I think that is and kind of what to expect and why I think it's interesting that some of these art things have just kind of popped off recently in the same week that Art Basel happened. And the fact that Art Basel is not an NFT specific conference, it is a much bigger than Web3 type of art conference. And it's very, very cool. So Philip, whenever you're ready, okay, cool. Yeah, dude. So Adidas times Fewocious collaboration on shoes has just been announced in the last couple of days here. Fewocious is a huge New York City artist, very, very unique stuff. I guess in NFTs, maybe it's not as unique because, people create so many derivatives the second they find someone famous. But this is a pretty interesting character, bro. And I think, Philip, you actually might know more about Fewocious as an artist than I do. But I also have like the article pulled up here. Do you know anything specifically about Fewocious that you think might add to the story?
Yeah, I mean, we did touch on it before. Fewocious really has came out and said that the Web3 space has allowed her to escape terrible circumstances, and they've done incredibly well in digital art and is very well respected in the space. But yeah, I mean, really, really a loved character by all. I haven't heard anyone say anything negative about Pharaoh, and very popular, has done huge collabs with a lot of different big projects, Murakami's, a whole lot of huge artists and things like that. So now doing one with Adidas is incredible and very bullish. But I want to hear more about it from you. But yeah, that's background on Pharaoh.
Yeah, hell yeah. All right, so here's the actual article from Adidas, by the way, fam. This is on Adidas's main fucking. This is news.adidas, bro. This is Adidas putting this shit out. So this is very cool. Adidas Originals and renowned artist Fewocious announced collaborative partnership. So, oh wow. So that's very, very cool. I think this is sweet. I'm a huge art guy. You guys know I had the VCon VCon vlog like a few weeks ago, actually sponsored by like a Web3 collaborative shoe company called Fast Sneaks. And so I'm very familiar with this literally because I just, kind of interacted with this kind of thing. But they have a huge collaboration coming up, and actually the main reason I'm using WordTune, guys, not 100% because I'm lazy, but it's partially because I want you guys to see how I operate and see how easy AI can make your life if you allow it to be. And keep in mind, of course, that like there are good sides and bad sides to AI, but like, why would you not use a fucking website like this when you can, where we can start with this summary and then go deeper into it as we want? Because anytime I want to go into this part, I can just click it and it'll take me to the exact part of the actual article where it talks about. So that's the reason I'm pulling this up. But anyways, they announced a partnership with 20-year-old artists, including physical and digital product drops. And so his name is Victor, by the way, Langlois. And he's been leading kind of the Web3 artist world. But this is a limited edition product-linked trefoil flower mint pass, which gives you an opportunity to for NFT holders to redeem the complimentary artist-designed Campus OO sneaker. So it's kind of like an art pass type of deal, right? And so he said, working with Adidas is a dream come true. To be honest, bro, if Adidas hit me up, I would be, of course, down. I'm not gonna turn down Adidas, but like, bro, I want that Nike one, bro. I would rather have Nike, low key. Like if Puma, like what would you?
It's pretty cool.
Rather have Nike, Puma, or Adidas, bro? If they were like,
well, there's so much that goes into it. This is, I would, me. I mean, Nike all the way. Nike's the biggest out of all of them, but I'm a big Nike fan. I would say 80% of my shoe collection is Nike, and I'm really in the NFT world. I think that Nike has done the best out of all of them. But in this particular article, I mean, it depends, because here there's going to be, I think, 4,500 of these Adidas. Which is quite a high supply, considering a lot of there was about 1,000, 1,500. So as far as rarity goes, it's not going to be as rare as like a Murakami Air Force One. But yeah, I mean, I think it's great to see Adidas taking their own route here. And this wasn't done by Nike. Nike, we had Nike and Murakami, yes. So maybe Adidas is following them. But yeah, man. I mean, I think it's good. I think it's great. I like to see them trying something sort of new in the space.
Also, three things actually. First off, the last thing I highlighted here, guys. So it's the first token gated NFC tag sneaker with a limited edition NFT. This is clearly the way it's going to be rolled out. I mean, there's been a lot of, not a lot, but there's been a few NFC companies. NFC being that chip that you stick into your clothes. I've actually talked to Izu about getting a collaboration with Joy's Kingdom clothes having the NFC chip in it when they're a little bit further along. However, it's pretty cool because this gives some level of legitimacy. I feel like every time something like this comes out, it just gives me something to stand on that's not fucking quicksand when people are attacking me about how NFTs are stupid. And then right before this comment, I was going to say, Crypto Dream says, what benefits do the NFTs have? I think he was talking about the Sothebys Goose one. I don't think there's anything other than it's just like expensive art. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, they're art projects. So art projects typically don't have a huge amount of utility. It's literally like buying a piece of art.
Right.
Here's your piece of art, and there's nothing more expected.
And I also saw Zodicus and Founded Records. Potentially, there's been some serious allegations made about Fewocious that we don't know about. And Zodicus says Adidas better drop him, or they will not get his support in the future. He's not a fan of this collaboration. So, because Zodicus would love to know what specifically you hate about this dude, because I don't know enough about it. Apparently, there's some allegations. Let me actually just look this up really quick.
I think they look pretty cool. The shoes themselves. Yeah, I saw the comments. I don't know what the allegations are, so I don't want to really go into it.
Famous trans artist been making headlines for another reason. Alleged sexual assault, violence, and mental trauma. So I don't know when this came out. This would have been
that he was sexually assaulted, or that he sexually assaulted
7 hours ago, bro. This just broke out 7 hours ago. Hold on, this is a 1 minute read, guys. So famous trans NFT artist Fewocious accused of sexual assault. Allegedly, real quick. I don't even know what's going on, guys. I literally just pulled this up. Oh wow.
Read it to us, Kate, because we can't see it.
Okay, so there's some serious allegations going on here. Hold on, let me just. Okay. Okay. You mind if I read this?
Read it.
Okay. Hey, Fewocious, did you feel powerful when you raped me? Did it make you feel like a man when you told me to kill myself? Did you feel tough when you called me a stupid bitch for crying after my mom attempted suicide? You're a monster, and I'm not going to be quiet anymore. And this went viral, almost 1 million views now. This must be why the article just came out. Yeah, I literally have no clue, dude. I have no idea about this. This is super quick. I will say,
go back to the article that you got this tweet from, and let's just see what they're saying there.
Yeah, it is coming from this tweet. So all they're saying is she's also released screenshots. There's released screenshots of abusive language and toxic behavior. I don't know if that's gonna be enough for anyone to have any proof of that. Like, we literally have not enough information. I will say one thing before we even know any more information. If you just pull this tweet up, guys, if you don't know anything and this is the only context you have besides this other article, I can't believe people have opinions yet. I'm like, what do you have an opinion on? It's just a tweet. Like, we have no clue. I don't know who this person is, dude. Like, who is this person? You know, like, I have no idea. Like, it's definitely possible this is true. Definitely possible that's completely false. But for people to be in here and choosing one side or the other without any proof yet, I'm like, what? Or like any side of anything. Yeah, it's just one tweet. I don't understand that, to be honest. And if it's true, then yeah, I guess that's fucked. If it's not true, that's also fucked. But this is a scary world, bro. This thing can happen to anyone. And the problem is, even if it comes out it's not true, he's fucked a little bit. Like, your reputation's a little bit tarnished. But I see what you're probably saying, Zodicus. I assume this is probably a tweet because this is the only reference we have.
No, those are very serious allegations. And if there's proof, then it's very serious. Yeah. I mean, I know he was sexually abused, Fewocious. So I would be heartbroken to find out that he was perpetrating the same thing that happened to him.
Let me see if he's addressed this at all on his Twitter. Yeah, guys, if you guys have any information, by the way, if you're in Spaces or video stream or wherever, please leave a comment or give your opinion on something here so that I have more context, because I am finding this out on stream live with Philip here, and does not look like he's actually said anything. Oh, here we go. Oh, wow, he has responded. All right, guys, this is Fewocious' official statement. There are allegations, in quotes, there are allegations being made online by an ex-partner of mine that are completely untrue, dangerous, and hurtful. The alleged events did not happen, and out of respect for privacy and due process, I'm not going to publicly address this matter further. All right. I'm not taking a side because I don't know what happened, but this is how you should properly always respond to something like this. This kind of thing, dude, because here's the problem, bro. Like you from a victim's perspective, you want this blown up partially because sometimes you need the public pressure to get things done. I know a lot of people who've had issues where the alleged assailants, did do something bad and they just couldn't pin him in court. And, it was one of those things where they were fucked no matter what they did. And now their whole story's out there. And sometimes, if it's all hidden behind the scenes, the perpetrator will be able to get away with something because it's not public kind of thing. And you guys remember with what's his name? Johnny Depp's case with Amber Heard that blew up publicly. There was no way, shape, or form Johnny was going to lose that one, no matter what. Like, it was just unbelievable how much public support there was for him. And it's one of those things that the way all these things are handled in public.
But look, I'll be honest, and I'm not sure, I don't really care. He was more famous than her, and that's why he won. I mean, some of that video, and she's just, her nature rubs people the wrong way.
Yeah.
But even that video footage of him in the kitchen, the way he was slamming those cupboards and whatever, I mean, that alone is intimidating. And, I don't know. I know this is very controversial to come out and say. The fact he won is that Bianca was happy in my wife, and we watched the whole thing. She was so happy that he won and all the rest. And I don't know. I think both of them, they had a toxic relationship. Yeah. I think they both fucked each other up all the time. There. I mean, I think a better example would probably be the Tate brothers at the moment. You've got these two ladies that came out with allegations against them, who have since been found on record, talking privately to each other, saying, let's continue pretending this and that and whatever. Again, is there some truth to it? Who knows? I mean, we're not here to be judge and jury. A business partner making allegations against you, I get that. I mean, again, I'm not here to judge either way. As I say, I mean, I agree with him, with Fewocious. Let due process follow. If there's proof, let it be shown in a court of law, and let a judge decide what's going on here.
Let me take. I don't know, Zodicus, bro. Listen, I don't know anything about you, but I fucking hope to God this is not how you make decisions, bro or girl. I don't know. Not a crypto nerd. That's why you believe this. That is insane for you to believe someone because they're not a crypto nerd. That cannot be. Like, I hope to God I think you're fucking with us. I pray to God you're fucking with us because I would be very concerned at the decisions you make day to day. If you literally use that as like the problem is, bro, like when I see a message like that, like she's not a crypto Twitter nerd, so why would she lie? I'm like, bro, you have got to be kidding me because so many people have that same mindset. Well, this wouldn't happen, so this has to be true. I'm like, hold on for a fucking second, bro.
Things are not black and white. There's a lot of areas of gray. I mean, I see that we also, let's not even go into it. I think let's move on, Kate. What is your next? I don't want to go into these comments.
Yeah.
What is your next story that you have?
Okay, so because these were all art related, until that, let's see. Yeah, I'm ready. All right, Basel.
You ready? Let's frickin' go.
All right, guys, we're resetting the room. I'm gonna pull a leap. We're gonna reset the room. We're talking about art, Basel. We just covered a couple art stories, some huge art sales, some crazy collaborative partnerships in the art world. Why is this all happening? Why are a bunch of art things pumping? It's probably because of this. Art Basel is in Florida, Miami. If you guys are there, there's a lot of people there right now. Honestly, there are a lot of people, but not as many Web3 people. I was, poking around here. There's not too much, honestly. Like when I typed in VCon, I saw every influencer and their grandmother posting selfies and stuff. It doesn't seem to be that there's a huge Art Basel Web3 initiative going on. I mean, I know there's some, but I remember last year I was like, the biggest L ever was not showing up to Art Basel, and I didn't want to make that mistake. But there's not too much of a Web3 presence. However, Art Basel is not a Web3 initiative. It is a art initiative. It's an art conference that's been around for a while. Born in 1970, it says. I don't know if that's actually true or if that's, I assume that is. But anyways, yeah, they've got like 700,000 followers. They're a legit thing. This is a huge art thing that people look forward to at the beginning every single year. I guess it could almost be related to like a Champions League. You know, what do you think, Phil? Could it be related to like a Champions League for football?
As far as art goes, I would say so. I mean, they've got, I think they said over 4,000 exhibitions on at the same time. So I mean, that's quite huge.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's yeah, they're saying he had over 200 leading galleries and more than 4,000 artists from over 5 continents. So that's pretty substantial, my brother. I mean, that's a big conference, right?
It is. It's very cool. Yeah. So Art Basel has been, I think that's the main reason these art things have been going on. Would love to know if you guys went to Art Basel last year because it looked like it was fun. If you guys are at Art Basel right now, would love to know what I'm missing out on because I got a little bit of FOMO every time I can't go to something. I'm only a few hours away. I mean, okay, I'm on the other side of the country, but I feel like I should take advantage when I can. But honestly, that's really the only thing. I just thought it would be something worth noting because people are going to start buying into these art collections, these art projects. And I just want you guys to remember one thing, guys. Y'all remember Renga? Y'all remember that storytelling NFTs meta that happened for like a month, probably 2 weeks longer than it needed to? And then it fucking dropped off. I just don't want people to start FOMOing in, especially if you have some money, to FOMO into a $1 million artwork because you think you can sell it in a couple months. It's like, hold on, fam. This is when you sell. You're supposed to be selling right now. If you've been holding art, you sell during Art Basel. You don't buy during Art Basel. That's like buying NFTs right after they dropped. You know, like that's just a terrible decision. You're almost always going to lose value in your artwork. It's just how it goes. So the main reason I wanted to bring it up was for that reason. Philip, do you have any thoughts on Art Basel or art collections, art metas going forward?
Yeah, I think a couple of things. I mean, I agree with you from the perspective that we've had a very bullish couple of weeks in the NFT art space, for sure. And that, if you've been looking to exit, now's probably a good time from an NFT art perspective. However, with physical artwork, it pretty much always appreciates over time, especially if it's from a very, a notable artist and all the rest of that. So very different digital art versus physical art, in my opinion. But arguably, digital art will also appreciate in time from the right artist. I mean, I do think now Ringers is a great investment because you can get some on OpenSea for 10, 15 ETH. I think maybe the floor price might be a little bit higher, but compared to $6 million, it might be a time to invest if you want it to be long term, because I mean, here they've proven that they can sell from the same artist, the same collection, an art piece for $6 million. So I don't think it's as black and white as that. It depends on how long you want to invest for, why you're investing. Yeah, there's many people who buy like really expensive artwork from really notable people because they want to enjoy it for the next 40 years, and they're not really too worried about the price. It inevitably ends up going up, over that sort of length of time, almost always. So yeah, I mean, interesting to see, but I get what you're saying. I mean, the art meta's been pumping. It's interesting because if you look at all the other metas that we've had in NFTs, which is, gaming, land, we've had all of the PFP meta, we've had all of them. They don't typically last very long, and then they come back round every so often. Woman-led projects, when World of Women went to 20 Ethereum, and we had other woman projects come out that did really well, and which have now fallen off a cliff. But the art meta has not gone down nearly as much as everything else over the last 2 years. So if everything else is down, like we looked last week, Kate, like on average 90%, everything is down. Art is down maybe 20, 30% in NFTs, which is really quite incredibly bullish. So, I think art and NFTs are a great use case. I also think gaming is, but the problem is that to make a great game that people want to play is very, very difficult, and it's going to take a very long time. So we further out from that. But yeah, I think art and NFTs fit really well. I mean, you can prove exactly who owned it, whether it's legitimate or not, what it was bought for, what it was sold for. It's all on the blockchain. So the right art pieces can really appreciate in value. I do believe that.
Yeah. Honestly, that was my last point there. Crypto Dream says, some buys like hey, listen, the Torch. Yeah, you're right, bro. The Torch NFT from the Joyous Kingdom collection. 100% right. You buy the project because you believe in the project overall. Like that's kind of why I hold the Nifty Portal NFT, because I just believe in the Nifty, like the Nifty Morning Show brand. I like PO. I like Nick. I think they're going to do well. And that's the reason I invest, especially because I don't look at NFTs like an investment vehicle anyway. That's pretty sketchy, bro. I feel like I would rather stick to some more, like I feel like I'd rather buy a $50,000 watch than a $50,000 NFT if I'm going to be trying to hold value, just because it's just so risky, And honestly, before we move on to the next thing, I was just going to super quickly just to go back, because I think it's important
to show you
what
before you do. Okay, you can, and then I'll say I just want to show you the Ringers collection by Dmitri. So there you see the duck, and he has his NFTs. So you can see, okay, the best offer is 27 ETH, but the floor price is 42. I thought it was a bit lower, so I stand to be corrected. Maybe there's been a massive pump, because of this recent sale over here. But here you've got 1,000 items. So to me, does it make sense to spend 40 ETH on something that just sold for 3,000 ETH from the same collection? Possibly. Obviously the duck is the famous one, the most famous out of all of this, and was previously the highest sale from this collection, the rarest one. So you can't compare a floor one. But I mean, if you found a nice looking one here, the guy's proven that he can sell a piece of art for $6 million.
Yeah.
I mean, that's quite something. Yeah.
That's pretty insane. Yeah, that is pretty insane. I can't imagine why you would spend $6 million, but I guess that's just art NFTs for you, bro. But speaking of the last point I wanted to make was related to that past the thing about Fewocious. I just think it's important to say, even though we went past it, was for both sides here. By the way, I'm gonna make the case here for both sides as why this argument needs to be even said. Is that it's probably not a coincidence that tweet came out literally the same week as this huge collaboration came out. Now, that might not be because because I know the guys are instantly going to say, oh, it's because the girl's trying to capitalize on his attention because she wants a piece of it. It's or she's trying to capitalize on the fact that he has attention right now, and this tweet might actually take and get some people because it's true. So if it's true, you can see the case of why a victim would want to do it around someone's big announcement. And if it's not true, you can also see the case why, because they want to capitalize on the hype. I just want people to know that there are two sides. If it's true, there was a reason that it came out this week. It's not a coincidence that it happened this week, that the Fewocious announcement collaboration with Adidas and this announcement came. It's not a coincidence that came out. Now, we don't know which why it did, but it's not a coincidence. It's not just, oh, it just happened to happen. That is definitely not true. Now, I'm very interested to see if Adidas cuts off this collaboration even before we find out what's really good. If there are really any, actual allegations, if this is a legitimate thing. We don't know if she's pressing charges. So we'll see what happens to with this Adidas announcement. But I just wanted to bring that to attention. I don't like extremist thinking. It's just it's not stupid. It's just like we should be better as humans. We have so much information and we have so much perspective now that to make an extreme, to have
I think there's nothing. I can't imagine, and I don't know from personal experience on either side, I can't imagine anything worse than being violated or abused. I really can't, especially sexually, or any form of abuse. I think that's too terrible. And maybe, that person found their voice. Now, on the other side, I can't imagine what it's like to be unfairly accused of something as terrible as that, either. So if you didn't do it and someone comes out, and I think when you do get fame, which there's no doubt in that Fewocious is getting fame, you do get people who are jealous for various reasons, and they can come out and try and tarnish your reputation unfairly. Yeah. With that said, it could also be true. We have no idea. And I think to try and judge any person by just, what they're wearing or their smile or one of their characteristics on either side we can't do that. So that's why I'm pleading the fifth. I don't want to get involved. I don't know. Obviously, I don't know the fact or which way it happened. I'm sad that it came out because I've always looked up to Pharaoh, and I know that he, she, or they, I don't know how to pronounce gender-wise, but it has been abused previously. And as I said, I would just hate to think that it is true. And if it's untrue, I feel very sad for Pharaoh that he's being accused of things that aren't true. So either way, I feel sorry for everyone involved. I think it's a horrible situation, but I don't think just because there's an allegation that it makes it true, and I don't think it makes it untrue. So we've got to see. Yeah.
Yeah. I just, dude, the extremist points of view just don't make sense. We as humans have enough information to not have an extreme view. We know that the answer is not an extreme answer. We know the answer is in the middle. You know, like that's just, we know that like we need more information to have an opinion. So like, why are we making opinions? You know, it's like, it's just for clicks. And like, that's the part that I just want people to remember, because I spend so much time on social media that like, yes, like comment sections are how people think, but the comment sections is a direct reflection of people's knee-jerk reactions that either A, they think other people will relate to, so they make it for that reason, or that just is their initial reaction. But that's not always the way they actually think. Because when you speak to people in real life,
I think also ZachXBT has said, yeah, well said, Kate. So I think, maybe it was a knee-jerk reaction, and he's coming around and saying, okay, let's let it happen. Well, that's fine. We're all guilty of the same thing. I mean, there's no doubt we all saw that and had an initial thought. But, we didn't verbalize it. And ZachXBT was maybe faster to the keyboard than all of us. Not that the thought was the same, just saying your brain automatically jumps to conclusions. But I mean, again, we could try and get more clicks and clip this out and go on one side or the other. Neither of us operate that way. So I'm not interested in getting involved in any shape or form. And, if a court of law finally does rule on it, we will bring that to you. But even then, even when a court of law rules, it doesn't mean that that's true either. Right. Courts get it wrong also. So it's very hard. It's very hard to know. But, when I do get a ruling on something and it falls in the NFT space, we will report on it as fact, because that's what someone with who looked at the evidence and is trained to look at the evidence came out and said. But for now, there's allegations. They are very serious allegations. If there are truth to them, I hope it comes out. If there isn't truth to it, I hope that comes out also. Yeah?
Yeah. I'm ready to move on, by the way.
Let's go.
All right, fam. We're resetting the room once again. We are going to reset and talk about something completely different. This is cool. It's not okay. It's actually sort of related to artwork. Actually, I guess the whole show is related to artwork, but not really. So Goblintown. It's a word we haven't heard that often. We were saying it a while during a particular couple months when goblins were all over Twitter making what even sounds do goblins make? I forget. Oh right, yeah, the RR, yeah. So Goblintown disappeared though.
Need to go pee. Need to pee.
Wait, hold on. Have they come back? By the way,
no, not much.
What's their OpenSea? I just want to really quickly pull this up.
I think they're probably 0.2 or 0.3. That would be my guess.
Oh, they are at 0.2. I thought they were at 0.1. Okay, so they're at 0.2 ETH right now, so not too bad. They were at a high of like 8 ETH, but those are the Goblin Towns, and you guys remember. So anyways, our boy Bryson actually made a video about this, but before I show you, so Goblintown was part of a game called Open World, I think it was, or something like that. What's it called? Only Up. And it was a super viral moment. There was 109,000 people in the stream when people realized, like, wait a second. Well, I guess people probably didn't realize it, but they were probably just looking at the art saying this is cool. Didn't even know it was Goblintown. And so Bryson posts this video. And you know what? Let me do this. Let me reshare my screen as a Chrome tab so you can get the audio.
All right.
All right. Bryson. Okay.
That's
ready.
Okay.
Let me know when you're ready.
All righty. I'm ready.
It's hard to choose the right path, but don't be afraid.
Oh, hold on. One thing.
You can always repeat.
We're in Goblintown.
Wait, can you hear that?
Yeah, we can hear.
All right, okay. I'm ready. 3. Let me know when you're ready. 1.
I'm hearing feedback from the spaces now.
Don't be afraid.
Bruh.
You can always repeat.
We're in Goblintown. Homie has a Goblintown NFT on the back of his jacket, and on the front of it, it says Goblintown. I never noticed that. Meaning the game starts off in Goblin fucking town. Can you clip this so I can tweet it out?
Okay. I don't know why there's so much back. There was so much. I don't know what happened there. That clearly that did not fucking do its job the way I thought.
No,
it
it's all right.
Here, let me reshare it now as a normal window so we can get that back. Here we go. All right, I'm back. So yeah. So that's what happened there with Bryson. So that's pretty sick, honestly. Like a whole world, dude. A whole world of gaming. And they're in this world, dude. Who knows what even happened? Like, no one even knew what happened. They just kind of popped up, and people were like, oh, okay. But it's an indie level game. They 109 simultaneous viewers, and it was the background imagery that got everyone excited. It was the Goblintown NFT. We're not exactly sure what that means because there's not really a whole lot after that. It's just kind of like unclear. We don't know if they were the one involved. I mean, they did post about it, but I'm not surprised they posted about it, even especially if they didn't have anything to do with it. I wouldn't be surprised if they posted about it anyway. But that's what they did. I think they're down to sort of just capitalize on any and all momentum because that's the game that they play. But what do you think,
So
bro?
it's interesting because it is currently ranked the 24th game in popularity with over 3.7 million hours watched just in the past 7 days. And it wasn't just that the avatar was wearing the Goblintown stuff, but there was Goblintown graffiti on the wall and a whole lot of stuff like that. And I think Bryson's reaction just shows it all. That, like, you know, he was like shocked that the whole time this was actually a Goblintown world that they had built from the beginning. So yeah, I mean, Truth Labs is not playing games. I've always been bullish on them. Before this, we spoke about them a week ago. We spoke about them with Big Ink, that drop that they did recently, where the more you had lost on NFTs, the higher you got the job interview. They've always gone against the grain, and yeah, man, I think they're a great project. And here's just another example of a low-key marketing thing that no one was aware of until it came out and was discovered by Bryson, which is so cool.
Bro, this actually looks pretty sick. This actually really is cool, dude. I think this is it. I think this is the clip. Hold on. Right here. This is okay. So this is when Bryson was playing that, I think, in that part of the world. But yeah, it's called Only Up, guys. Available on Steam, and yeah, I'm pretty sure like most people can actually play that on. I don't know if it'll work, to be honest, on like a laptop. I think you might need a computer to do this. I tried to do these things on a laptop, and it's not the best, to be honest. But that is pretty sick, bro, that they're on this thing.
Yeah.
I'm a huge
and
fan.
Look, even on the wall, there's this graffiti of goblins. So they've really like taken, and there was quite a few other places as well where they've actually taken over the whole game. I mean, here's another streamer who's also just shocked. Case in that. It was like, what is going on here? Which is so cool, man.
Yeah, that is super, super cool. So I'm a fan of that, bro. We all love NFTs popping into the
It's
main.
like guerrilla marketing, you know?
Exactly.
Which is really cool.
Exactly. I also have a couple videos that I wanted to play and other thing. I was gonna say, first off, Armando has this NFT for sale, by the way. It's one of the NFTs in the prequel. And I think he listed at relisted at 0.35. He's looking for some liquid. So if you guys are looking to get into the Joyish Kingdom access keys, it's very, very rare that anyone lists an NFT below 0.5. So if it's actually listed at 0.35, that's about the cheapest I ever see them go for. I rarely see them ever go below 0.3. So I always tell people, if you're trying to get into the access keys, just throw WETH offers at 0.3 and you'll probably get one. But he has one listed right now for 0.35. So if you're looking to get one, this one is called Are You Trippin'? Me and my sister walked around. It's her first time tripping acid. And we were exploring the fucking downtown Charleston, going to the coolest areas. I just thought it was a sick shot. And yeah, that's the background behind that story. Anyways.
Well, you're looking for something else. I'm going to do one thing. So it's the Rocky Horror Picture Show,
right.
Which maybe rings more of a bell for me than you, because I remember my parents taking us and me never being more scared in my whole life. It was like a theatre show where all these guys run up and down the aisles and hours of stuff. But either way, they're making a Web3 debut. So they're coming out with a NFT project on the 19th of June, which is 2 days away. It will contain 50 one-of-one tokens. They play on the blood drip front logo of the show. One of the 50 NFTs will be rare. They're going to be going for 0.1 Ethereum. And the team behind it is Online Blockchain, an incubator and technology company based in the UK. And according to the press release, the company will sell the rare NFT initially on June the 19th. The rest will be sold over a 2-week period at random times. They're encouraging interesting buyers to pay attention to the collection. Again, there's not a paid show, it's just a news story. In addition to the NFTs in the original collection, collectors of the one-of-ones will receive a free pack that contains 9 additional NFTs based on characters of the show, and it lists the characters. But yeah, just always, whenever I see a news article that's got a name that I know well, like the Rocky Horror Picture Show or anything like that, and they're coming into NFTs or Web3, I like to just bring it to everyone's attention because it makes me generally pretty bullish.
Yeah, very, very cool, bro. Would love to. It looks like Crypto Dream says mom was a huge fan. Wasn't until 15 that he saw it. Very, very cool.
I think even that's a bit young because it was freaky. I still have nightmares of those guys coming down the aisle. It was like at the same time as Cats, the musical. Have you heard of Cats?
I have, bro. I remember when
it's equivalent to that as far as popularity goes.
Okay.
And it was a very similar time in theater as when that came out.
Oh yeah.
Are you ready with what you wanted to show us?
Ready. Hey guys, before I play these videos, I'm gonna allow you guys to choose which video we go to. But I was gonna say, so I'm doing an interview with myself tomorrow at 10 a.m. PST live on
interview with myself
Spaces or YouTube. But I will be doing the podcast with myself. It's called Interview with Myself. I used to do them every month, but honestly, I fell into a fucking 6-month depression. So now we're gonna do one for the last 6 months. So I'd love to tell you guys what I learned, what I'm still doing wrong, perspectives on that, and honestly, just unload a whole lot of stuff. I will be giving away a Pudgy Penguin toy. Boom. If you guys want to win a Pudgy Penguin toy, 10 a.m. PST tomorrow. I'm giving one of these away. Who knows? I might even give away some George Kingdom clothes. We have new hats, by the way. George Kingdom. Different colors. George Kingdom distressed hats. These are actually fucking fire. So I'll be giving away some stuff in that podcast because I'm just going to be yelling and talking about myself the whole time. And I want to be able to give you guys some kind of value for being there. So I appreciate y'all being there. If you guys hop on my Twitter, you guys can see all the details for that. But without further ado, I'm ready to play a couple of these videos because I think this will spurn some interesting debate for the next 15 minutes or so. And I feel like we'd be doing a disservice by not showing you some of these 3 videos and just getting your input. So, Philip, my friend, I will let you decide which video we watch. Up to you, brother, man.
Just from what I can see, because I don't know what any of these are. Just from what I can see, I would choose the middle one.
Middle one?
Pretty cool.
All right.
Yeah.
I'm not going to play any audio because these are from TikTok, so you will for sure get copyrighted because YouTube's a savage for TikTok. I don't know why. They always get me on these, so I'm not going to play that music, but you don't need the music. This is all for visuals. I just want y'all to put in your head a futuristic mindset. I want y'all to get excited about the future, even if you have reservations about AI and augmented reality, I know. But with all the reservations, with all the horrible things that are going to come from it, there's going to be some really cool shit, and I want to show you guys some of these things.
Okay, so I made it a bit bigger.
Yeah, we should play all these.
So those are... All right, cool. Whoa. For those of you that are on the Twitter stream, Spaces, and you can't see it, the one that we're looking at is a guy jumping off a building and then absolutely flying.
Yeah.
Oh, and it looks like he's now Spider-Man. He's able to...
Look,
that's so cool.
Guys, please join us on video stream right now. If you're on Spaces, please join us in the video stream and watch these videos with us. It is the coolest thing ever, bro. We only have I'm going to replay this for the last couple seconds here while that other video wraps up.
The video is the one that's pinned to the top of the Spaces.
That's the one.
If you want to come over.
But yeah, guys, look at the possibilities. Look what's going to be possible for our normal entertainment is going to be shit like this, dude. That is why I'm so excited because not only do we just have entertainment going on, but it's just the possibility of the unlimited potential of human capabilities. And I know people are scared to combine, and Neuralink is a really, really heavy topic. And I'm good here, by the way, Philip.
Pay the end one on the right. I haven't seen that one.
The whole thing?
Yeah.
All right.
The whole thing. Yeah.
So with this, I know people are scared about the Neuralink and stuff, but just dude, we're not gonna be able to stop this. Because this is possible, it's only gonna get bigger and better. So that's just, we can all just accept that that's what's gonna happen. But dude, this is so sick. This is so sick. Crypto Dream, am I doing it for Father's Day? No, I'm not doing it for Father's Day. That's just the day my podcast ended up lining up on a day to do it. But I will be calling my father for Father's Day. Actually, I forget what I sent him. He's gonna get it in a couple days. But yeah, Father's Day is also tomorrow. So Philip, bro. I guess I'll wish you a early happy Father's Day, brother, man. You got any advice for all the fathers out there for my future fatherhood, maybe one day?
Yeah, man, I guess so. Advice, I mean, I think that I've always said anything worthwhile is tough, that nothing worthwhile is easy. And I think often the harder that something is, the more worthwhile it is. And children are the prime example of that. It is the most difficult thing out there. You really, I mean, it's honestly committing to forever protect, forever, their whole lives, protect and love this person and do everything you can to put them before you, which comes naturally. But I mean, it's a lifetime commitment, right? So it's not easy. It starts off in the very beginning where they can't even live without you. They need you to feed them. They need you to change them. They need you to help them sleep. They need you to do everything to put a blanket around them, make sure that they're warm. And it changes, but they need you throughout. And it's a huge responsibility. And with that comes massive reward. And
Yep.
to have these little humans that look up to me as if I am some type of god in a way, makes me want to be a better person, makes me want to live up to some level of that, how high they hold me on that pedestal, you know. And I'll say that it's both the hardest thing I've ever done, but the biggest blessing that I've ever done. And I would do it again a million times over. And yeah, that would be my advice for it. So yeah, I'm looking forward to tomorrow. You know why? Because I know that they are, and that's what being a father is all about. So I'm looking forward to them enjoying giving back to me in their way. You know, in the end of the day, I'm going to be getting a plastic something from their collection and all of that, you know, stuff that has no material value but has got huge sentimental value. And yeah, I mean, that's what being a dad is. And it's incredible. It really is a very special thing and a huge blessing. I feel very, very blessed to have 3 beautiful boys.
What would be the best, like, what would be the most, I don't want to use the word sentimental gift, but like, what would be something that as a father you would be like, damn, that'd be so, like, that's lit. Like, that's a good gift kind of thing. Like, what's something that sons can do, bro? I'm asking for a friend.
Bro, honestly, like, it depends on the age of the child, but a card written, like a card written from the heart, you know, whether it be a baby and they've drawn a picture for you or just colored, you know, random thing that makes no sense. I mean, I've got a wall not behind me, but sort of around the corner behind me that is just artwork from my children at various ages. I mean, if you saw it, it looks like absolute crap. But for me, it's like worth more than the most beautiful sculptural painting that we've got hanging in the lounge
When NFT
downstairs,
collection.
you know?
When NFT art
Yeah,
collection, bro.
man. Well, I do. I've got a whole thing. But I mean, just to see, yeah, exactly what Luke's saying. You know, your daughter's hiding pictures and they're getting so excited and they're loving it. You know, it's just amazing. It's incredible. It's sweet that they want to give back to you in their own way. You know, I mean, my little boy Raph, he's 7. Every day I come home, serious. Every day I come home, he says to me, "Dad, what can I help you with?" It's an incredible thing. I mean, it's just he just wants to help Dad. He wants to, and I said to him the other day, I said, you know, you've had a long day at school. Why don't you just go like be on your iPad? Why do you want to? He says, no, I enjoy being with you. And every time I help you, I learn something so that I can teach my son one day.
How old
That's
is he?
from a 7-year-old. That's from a 7-year-old.
Bro,
So
what?
So I mean, it's incredible. They make you think and they make you question. And Danny and Jake the same. I mean, the love that they have. Shame, I told you, Jake broke his his arm yesterday. And Danny and Jake were wrestling, and that's what happened. You know, they were playing. Danny never intended. Danny did not sleep the whole night. He felt so guilty for doing it. He loves him so much. And to see that bond is just incredible. And when Jake came back from the hospital this morning with his cast, Danny the whole day was like, let me get that for you, Jake. Let me do this for you. You need a pillow. Ran around and we told Danny, we said, Dan, it's not your fault, my doll. It's really not. He fell in a funny way. You guys wrestle. That's part of being boys. Don't blame yourself and all of that. But that's another gift of it, is to see the bond between the siblings is incredible. And, you know, I remember my dad, you know, I come from a big family. I've got 5 sisters. I now have 5 brother-in-laws, and I've got, I think, 20 nieces and nephews, somewhere around there. So I've got a massive, massive family. My parents brought up 6 children. And my dad used to say to me, he always wants peace in the home. So all he wants is peace. He wants his children to get along, and you don't really understand that until you're a dad and until you see your children loving each other. And you know, obviously they fight at times and whatever, but I'm saying now with Danny loving Jake so much and being so worried about him, and you know, it's just beautiful. It's beautiful to see. It's really, it brings you back, and also you get to play as if you know, I said you get to play with like remote control cars again. So if you like doing that when you were young, you get to do it again. It's like Bianca's like, what are you doing? It's like, no, I'm just doing it for the kids. Meantime, I love remote control cars, you know, and it's like cool. So like we get to play Xbox together, right? So I get to do some cool stuff that otherwise it would be like, how do I sort of explain this to Bianca? But it's cool, man. It's a good experience. It's not all roses. It's hard. It's hard work. It's hard work, but it's good.
Wow. Yeah, I'll always be taking notes about parenthood, bro, because I don't know what I'm doing. I also remember there were so many things that I resented, but I was just kind of like, damn, I wish I had done it differently about my parents. And then as I get older, I think about things differently. So I don't have like a proper grasp on it until I feel like I get enough opinions on it and see how different people do it and things.
I think it comes naturally, and regardless of how people do it, you'll find your own way. And the first step is just finding a partner in crime, like the right partner in crime, right? And not rushing that, because it's got to be the right partner. Because I think that's the worst thing. I think when either like a husband and wife are only together for the children, so they say, look, you know, we don't like each other anymore, but we don't want to put the kids through it. We'll wait for them to be older. That's terrible. That's a tragedy. And the other side is like if they do go through with a divorce, and that happens a lot, but the kid, it affects kids, you know, quite a lot. So I think you want to find the right partner for you. That's really, really important. And when you do, it comes naturally. You learn. I mean, you know nothing in the beginning. But the thing is because you've got such a love for them, and everything that you're doing is just in their best interest, whether you're right or wrong, the intentions are good. And you know, and therefore it's generally good because you just want the best for them. I mean, and you feel you can never explain that until you see your baby for the first time, and you realize how helpless they are and how much they need you, and how this is your most important job for now.
I just get nervous because like even if you have all that, like if you haven't dealt with your shit, especially with your parents, or if you don't have a good relationship with your parents, you pass that shit down to you. Like my mom, for example, Japanese, she's a tiger mom mentality because she grew up with a World War II veteran dad and a mom who had to basically do it all herself. So her mom was a fucking raging monster in the household, like screaming at her, do this, do that. So when she came to America, anything that wasn't that was better than that. And we don't have that experience. Obviously, I didn't grow up with her. So like, I don't even know what that would have, I'm sure it would have been 10 times worse than our household was, which was already stressful because my mom is stressed. So she passed all that down to us, which made us resent her because we don't like the way she parented. But now it's taking 10 years of me like learning about that to be like, oh, like I can forgive her. I can understand her a little bit more. I can see why she did things this way. I can see why my dad did things differently. He was raised in a totally like classic white American household, like come back when the sun's down, whatever, you broke your arm, like whatever, that kind of thing. And my mom's total opposite. And so I think that there's a lot of kids who just have a lot of resentment because of the way that stuff happened as they got older, and then they don't deal with it. So because they don't deal with it, they fuck themselves because they fucked the kids over doing that. That's why in my head, I'm like,
but you know, the thing is, even if you hadn't come to the realization, which you have, and it's very mature of you now already, the second you have a child, you look at your parents very differently. Even if you hadn't come to that realization yet, you will come to that realization because you, like you said to me a couple of weeks ago, when you were quite emotional, you said to me, you realized that even if it wasn't purpose, that it wasn't done on purpose, it was always done out of love. And even if it wasn't perfect, it was always done out of love from your parents. And you realize that you know, and stopped being so hard on them and judging them so hardly. If you hadn't come to that realization, I strongly believe you would have once you have your own child, because you sort of like, you can't deny how you feel. And every parent feels, well, I would hope most parents feel the same level of love for their child that you can't explain until you've had a child. You realize, oh my God, my parents felt this when I was born.
Yeah.
For me. And therefore everything they did because they thought it was the best for me. Was it the best for me? Maybe not, but they thought it was. And when you realize that their intentions were actually good the whole time, and they had put so much on hold for you, like you've said often about your parents and your dad,
Yeah.
you know, put their whole life on hold for you, you would realize that when you have children.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah.
So it ends up turning the relationship.
I think maybe the point doesn't now that you said it like that, maybe the point isn't so much about I've just seen so much stuff online about people complaining about the fact that like, okay, look, maybe I've forgiven my parents, but I still fucking hate them because they're toxic. Like that's the classic one. We're like, look, I'll forgive you, but it doesn't mean I want to see you more than once every 5 years. And like that for me is a reflection of that parent having not dealt with the toxicity in themselves. And maybe, yes, maybe they did put everything on hold for the kid, but that doesn't take away the toxicity that they grew up with, which the problem is like once you release your kid into the wild, you hope that like your work as a parent brings them home, like brings them back and like wants them to, but if you do it the wrong way, then they're not going to want to like, and the thing is, I feel like with my family, we did deal with it. Like because I dealt with it, my sister's dealing with it because she realizes that's the only way to get over it is to go head first into it. I would argue that most people don't do that because that has been the most uncomfortable year of my life. I've never had so many awful, long, intense, uncomfortable conversations with my parents. And I just sit here and I just don't believe that most people are doing it. Like, I know it sounds arrogant, but I'm like, I don't believe that most people on the street that I talk to, especially people who are not like go-getters, I just don't believe that they're dealing with their shit. And I don't believe that their parents have done it. And I think that's the reason that people can't see eye out of their parents. I think that's why people move out at 18, don't see their parents more than twice a year. I don't like that. And then I see people from the Eastern side, pretty much everyone but America, thinking, yeah, man, like my family lives right down the street. I see my parents 3 times a week. I hang out here. I go here. I drop the kids off. We have a family dynamic. And I'm like, yo, we be doing this wrong, bro. Like we've been doing this wrong. So I'm trying to figure out.
Look, I mean, I'm in South Africa, I'm not in the States, and definitely family is challenging. I think there's certain things in life that are very, very final, certain things that you can never, ever reverse from, ever. One of them is having a child. Once you've had a child, I mean, you can't really send them back. You know, but the other one is the loss of the parents. And I do believe that people will regret the time that they are judging their parents and choosing not to see them once they're gone. And that's the sad thing about it is once they're gone, you can't see them again. And you know, I lost my dad 3 years ago, as you know. I was incredibly close with him. I was his only son. He had 5 daughters and me. And that brings a very strong connection. And we made a conscious effort, even when I had the twins and wasn't sleeping, we would go for suppers at least once every 2 to 3 weeks, just him and I, just the two of us. And we would sit down and we'd connect. And we really, you know, he would often say, boy, I love you, but I also like you. And I felt the same way. However, about 3 or 4 years before he passed away, we had an incredibly big fight. I'm not going to go into the details about it, but a very big fight. And our egos took over on both sides. Both of us were dug our heels in. We're both stubborn people. And we stepped away from each other for 2 solid years. Didn't see each other, didn't speak. And, you know, I did reconcile with him about 6 months before he got sick. And we reconciled. There was a lot of hurt on both sides. And we both made a conscious effort to be together again, and we made those same dates, just him and I, and sat there laughing. At that time, it was when Donald Trump was getting out and Giuliani booked his conference at the Four Seasons, which was actually a shop instead of the Four Seasons Hotel. I don't know if you remember that conference, and all his hair dye was falling down, and my dad and I sat there laughing, watching these YouTube videos. Hilarious. We had the same sense of humor. We found the same thing funny. And I'm just so grateful. First of all, I regret the 2 years that we threw away.
Do you regret it, or was it necessary?
I regret it.
Okay.
Knowing what I know now, that I will never see him again, and I could never sit down and have that again. And I would pay anything in the world to be with him for another 5 minutes. Even though at the time it was so serious, and it really was. Looking back, it was stupid. If I had known that he was going to go so soon, I would have not dug my heels in. I would have gone to him and said, Dad, we're both being idiots. You're not going to be here forever. We're both digging our heels in. We both being egotistical. Let's put that aside. We need to move on from this. We need to do it soon. We don't have much time. This is not. I do regret it. I mean, at the time, I didn't know he was going to pass when he did, and I didn't look at it from that perspective. But that's what I'm saying. I'm saying typically, anyone who's struggling, and obviously there are really toxic relationships where you do need to just cut ties, and that's okay. But I'm saying for 99% of the time, that's not the case. And if everyone's honest with each other, if the phone was picked up tomorrow and it said, "My love, I'm your mom, I'm your dad. I've got 24 hours to live, guaranteed. In 24 hours, I'm going to die." Will you still not want to see them for those last 24 hours? If the answer is yes, fine. But you don't know that until they're gone, because you can't. Once they're gone, there's no seeing them again. There's no talking again. There's no. So it's hard to impress that.
I have, wood 150 times, but I have never experienced death yet. Never. I've only experienced like pets dying. Like nobody I know that I'm even remotely close to has even come close to that. Like my dad had a couple car accidents that were kind of sketchy, but like nothing real. Like he didn't even get hurt. And so I'm like, I think I lack that awareness of what that even means to have that hole never be able to be filled. Like once it's gone, they're gone. I understand the concept, but I don't know what that means to be like, damn.
No one can. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying is that if you could fast forward in people's minds, which you can't. Same with kids. You'll never understand until you have a kid. You never will. And you'll never understand loss of a parent until you've lost a parent. You never will, and you can't. That's why I think it's important just for me to say, someone who's been through it. So if there's, we've got whatever, however many people listening, if there's one person sitting there who thinks, you know what, let me pick up the phone to my dad or my mom or whatever, and they get an extra year, 2, 3 years that they wouldn't have otherwise, I would feel great, because you once it happens, there's nothing you can do. And the stuff was serious that went on with me and him, very serious. But again, I regret it. I'm just glad that we reconciled before he passed, because I wouldn't have had those last 6 months with him, and I would have regretted it more. That's the truth,
Dude, honestly, I ask you these questions because I feel like your kid is smart at 7, but he's also, I'm not surprised that that's what he would say. Like you have a good way about you, you have a good perspective, and like you have, you're a good person. And I feel like I have sort of fixed a lot of the ways I think about that towards, especially my father, because of the way you've been able to word things out in my head. Because I lack some of the experience you have. So I know for a fact, if other people aren't listening and picking some stuff, I definitely have. I've definitely repaired my relationship with my parents. I would say almost tenfold. And I don't know if it's directly because of the conversations we've had on the show, but we've had enough conversations about this type of stuff for me to know for a fact that it's made a pretty large impact. So I appreciate you, Philip, and I know there's people in here who definitely have picked up some stuff from the stories you've shared.
I hope so. But yeah, Father's Day tomorrow, looking forward. Thinking of my popsy. He was really a selfless guy. He really was. He lived for his family. He was a family guy. That was it. That's all that mattered. I remember the one day a teacher smacked me at school for some reason. He went to that teacher's house. He said, "Come and watch." And pick the teacher up against the wall until the teacher apologized. He was fiercely defendant of his children. He had 5 daughters. Bro. So he had all these guys trying to pick up these girls. A guy would come in the house, he'd shake the guy's hand and he'd squeeze it and he'd say, "You see this hand? You keep the hand at the door. In other words, don't touch my daughter in my house. You keep your hands at the door. You can collect them on the way out." He had a whole lot of stuff like that, where he was very. I mean, my dad. The one day he was driving in. We live in South Africa. He was driving in, and he turned around, and there were 3 guys with guns. They wanted to hijack him. They wanted to take his car. And him being the guy he was, like the protector, knowing that he had 5 girls and a little boy inside the house with no gun, ran after these hijackers, screaming. He chased them down the street. He had no firearm. The guy was like overweight. He could barely walk, let alone run. But that protection, that thing, he just wanted to protect us and look after us. That was his whole mission in life, and that's what it becomes when you have kids. That's what it's all about.
Damn, bro. That's hella powerful. That's hella powerful. Shit, dude. I don't know if there's a better way to end other than me
No, I think we're good.
other than just me shilling one last thing. Guys, the
No,
stream-
no more shilling, please,
back, bro.
Cade. Yes, enough shilling for one day.
Vintage
You want to
Cage
shill
back.
one more thing?
Streams are back, baby. You guys already know.
What,
Look forward to all
what's
the
back?
streams. There's nothing to pull up. I was just gonna say the streams are coming back. I feel like I need to say that every week so I can get myself to do it. But the streams are coming back. It's gonna be the coffee break.
Well, I
show.
hope this served a purpose for you in doing that, because I thought, for those of you that weren't here in the beginning, Cade curated all of the topics for tonight's show. All of them. Only thing that I curated was market update and what's trending. Everything else was Cade. So yeah, bro, you can do it. I mean, I know you can, but you're not doing tea time. Haven't done it for a long time, and you did an amazing job.
Thank you.
I'm
Bro.
very proud of you.
Thank you.
I'm sure everyone else is. So, guys, happy Father's Day. Thank you for joining us. Just to remind you, we stream every single Saturday, 9:30 p.m. CEST. We do it on Twitch, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter Spaces. So there's no excuse, whatever platform you like. Join us. If you're not following Kate and I, great to follow us. And we will see you here next week. Same time, same place. Be kind to each other. Keep well. Thank you, everyone. Ciao.
Guys. Bye.